Hi everyone, I'm Sandy and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a book haul for you of sorts. It was my birthday in June and I went to Half Price Books and did another treasure hunt to see what books I could find on the 1001 Books You Must Read Before You Die list, which is my main project. But I also bought some books that weren't on that list, and I ended up getting a bunch of library holds all at once. I ended up with 4 books that just became available to me within the last few days. I love my local library. I really do. I just forget to put hold stops when I have already have a number of books stacked up. So I ended up with 4. The library holds I'm going to go through first because those ones are a little bit newer releases. They're from May and June. I read a lot of backlisted items, so I want to go through these first to show you kind of where the books that I really am interested in that are a bit newer. And I'm very excited. So let's go ahead and jump right into those. The first one is this one, The True Love Experiment by Christina Lauren. I have read one other book by Christina Lauren, which was The Soulmate Equation, but it was a few years ago, I believe, that I read it. I have started to read the first few pages of this. There is an author featured in this book who is a romance author and has pretty much lost the idea of what love is and how she's living her life and is doubting everything. That's as far as I've gotten so far in this particular one, so I'm very excited to see where this one is going to go. Unfortunately, this library book already has some damage in it. Isn't that sad? I'm not sure what happened there, but I just got it. Ooh, and I feel like I'm damaging the book by trying to read it, but that's my first one. The next book that I have was released on May 16th, and it is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I have never read anything by this particular author. I actually don't know much about this book either. It is one I have seen babble floating around, but haven't read that one either. This one, the first part of this says white lies, dark humor, and deadly consequences. Ooh. Best-selling sensation Juniper Song is not who she says she is. She didn't write the book she claims she wrote, and she is most certainly not Asian American in this chilling and hilariously cutting novel from the #1 New York Times bestselling author R.F. Kuang. Don't know, but I am interested in this one. I do like this very simple cover on the front of it, and I really am interested. I've seen some negative reviews of it, so very curious about this one. The next one is probably out of all of these ones I am so excited to pick up, and it is this one, Chain Gang AllStars. This one came out on May 2nd, so it's just a couple months released. And this one I saw, I believe, on Scott over at Gunpowder Fiction and Plot, and really wanted to pick it up after listening to his explanation of it. So the summary of this says, Loretta Thurwar and Hamara Hurricane Stacker are the stars of the Chain Gang All-Stars, the cornerstone of CAPE, or criminal action penal entertainment, a highly popular, highly controversial profit reigning program in America's increasingly dominant private prison industry. Oh boy, it's the return of the gladiators, and prisoners are competing for the ultimate prize, their freedom. So there's an old movie called The Running Man, which was a game show using prisoners as the contestants, and if they won, they were free. And this is what that makes me think of. Like I said, this is the one I am most excited to pick up, Chain Gang All-Stars. Ooh, I hope it's good. I want it to be good. I want it to be a phenomenal book. So this one. The last library book just became available today, and it is this one, Lady Tan's Circle of Women by Lisa C. This was actually published on June 6th, so it's the newest of the releases that I have. Lisa C is the author of The Snowflower and The Secret Fan, which I have read a number of years ago and actually really did like quite a bit. I saw this one on some upcoming release website and thought, why not put it on hold at the library? And like I said, it just became available today. The first part of this book says, according to Confucius, an educated woman is a worthless woman. Perfect. But Tan Yuxian, born into an elite family haunted by death, separations, and loneliness, is being raised by her grandparents to be of use. Her grandmother is one of only a handful of female doctors in China, and she's teaching the pillars of Chinese medicine, the 4 examinations, 6 pernicious influences, 7 emotions, and that the body is a reflection of the cosmos. Ooh. So I won't read any more of the summary. But this is another one that just came available today. So those are the 4 new releases that I have. Here is my stack of library holds. Lady Tan's Circle of Women, Chain Gang AllStars, Yellowface, and The True Love Experiment. That is a good library haul right there. So I don't know when I'll get to these. I only have, I think, 4 weeks to read these. So wish me luck on those. But those are my newer released library books. In regards to my treasure hunt, I will go through these pretty quickly and won't be giving much of a summary of them. All of these books are on my 1001 book list, and I got most of them for very, very inexpensive, very, very small amounts of money. So the first one is really interesting because look at this. It's in a little plastic bag. It is A House in the Uplands by Erskine Caldwell. Yeah, it's super small. There is a theme here. I've been looking for shorter books. If you follow my countdown videos, you might know I am behind, and this is one way I'm hoping to be able to catch up this year. I'm sure I'll regret that in a few years' time when I have nothing but long books to read, but this is the first one that I ended up finding. Then I found a really interesting one. It is this one, Billy Budd by Herman Melville. And it also has another short story in it, The Encantadas. I have not heard of this one. I think I paid $1 for this particular version. It's also very, very short. I have read Moby Dick by Herman Melville and was curious about this one and saw it and said, I'm going to go ahead and pick that one up. The next one is Thomas Hardy, The Mayor of Casterbridge. This is such a cute little copy. I love it when I find little ones like this. I seem to find them in Thomas Hardy more than almost any other author. My Return of the Native copy is also pretty small like this one. I do like it quite a bit, but I was on a hunt of finding in good condition older copies, and this one definitely did. The font, however, in it is a little bit tiny, so I think it's deceptive. It looks shorter than it is. I think I have 4 or 5 more Hardys left to read on the 1001 list, so it was a good find that I picked this one up. I also found this one, Moll Flanders by Daniel Defoe. I do like these editions quite a bit. I have a couple of different ones in the same edition by the same publisher. I do like how they look on the shelf with these very clean kind of binding on them. The back of this one does say, was 12-year a whore, 5 times a wife, whereof once to her own brother. 12 years a thief, 8 year a transported felon in Virginia, at last grew rich, lived honest, and died a penitent. Oh my gosh, abandoned at birth in London's notorious Newgate prison, Defoe's heroine aspires to be a lady by any means at her disposal. She hones a series of disreputable skills from thieving to prostitution amid the corrupt society of 18th century England, and then finds her fortune in America. Candid but witty, these memoirs engage the reader and invite disapproval at the same time. They also deliver a vivid history lesson. Wow, that's actually sounds really good. I want it to be amazing. I mean, this isn't going to be written in today's language, but a very interesting one. Wow. Have you read Moll Flanders? Very curious. I also found The Return of the Soldier by Rebecca West. I have not read anything by Rebecca West, or if I have, I don't remember it. Look at this one though. Oh, so slim. Very happy about finding this particular one. It says it's set in World War I on an isolated country estate just outside London. Rebecca West's haunting novel, The Return of the Soldier, follows Chris Baldry, a shell-shocked captain suffering from amnesia, as he makes a bittersweet homecoming to the 3 women who have helped shape his life. All right. I'm curious about this particular one, but again, loving how short that is. I also found this one. I love this title, A Short History of Tractors in Ukrainian. I was drawn to this one purely by the title. I've been fascinated by this particular title ever since I read it. I just don't know anything about it. The front of this says, 2 years after my mother died, my father fell in love with a glamorous blonde Ukrainian divorcee. He was 84. She was 36. She exploded into our lives like a fluffy pink grenade. Wow. All right. So I found that one. I found this one at Barnes & Noble. It is called Blind Owl. And this one, it is writers of one of the greatest, Written by one of the greatest Iranian writers of the 20th century, Blind Owl tells a two-part story of an isolated narrator with a fragile relationship with time and reality. In first person, the narrator offers a string of hazy, dreamlike recollections fueled by opium and alcohol. Ooh, okay. He spends time painting the exact same scene on the covers of pen cases, an old man wearing a cape and a turban sitting under a cypress tree, separated by a small stream from a beautiful woman in black who offers him a water lily. Oh, okay. I'm not going to read any more at the back. I love this cover, though. Look at that beautiful flower on the front of that. That's just absolutely gorgeous. I like a good Penguin classic. I do have a stack of them, as you can see over here. I keep them all together for some reason, not with the rest of the books, mainly because I like how they look on the shelf. But that's the other one. I have one of my least favorite authors on my 1001 list. It is J.M. Coetzee, Waiting for the Barbarians. Look at that cover again. I'm not sure what they're doing, but it doesn't look good, does it? The back of this says, for decades, the magistrate has run the affairs of a tiny frontier settlement, ignoring the impending war between the barbarians and the empire whose servant he is. When interrogation experts arrive, however, he finds himself jolted into sympathy with their victims until the barbarous treatment of prisoners of war finally pushes him into a quixotic act of rebellion and thus into imprisonment as an enemy of the state. Okay, well, it has the benefit of being short. A lot of Coetzee's books are short. I think The Life and Times of Michael K. was very short. Disgrace was very short. So that is one thing. Not my favorite writing style, but I'm happy to have found it. The next two books are big. I bought these because we were talking about possibly reading them for the Up to No Good Book Club, and then we transitioned on to something else. But the first one is this one, The Adventures and Misadventures of Mackerel. I don't know on this particular one, but look at how big this one is. My goodness. I do like these NYRB ones again as well. I am a huge fan, as you can tell, of these simple bindings. I just love how they look on the shelf. I love it when a series has those as well. Very, very cool. But I did end up finding this one from Thrift Books. And the last 1001 book that I have is this one. Peter Carey's Oscar and Lucinda. I've seen this one floating around as well, but look at this again, another big chunky book. It's not going to happen this year, but I did see it on Thrift Books and had a free book, so why not? I went ahead and picked it up. Those are all of the 1001 books I found as part of my birthday treasure hunt that I did. I do have a few other books that I got from Barnes & Noble. I got this one. Finley Donovan is killing it. As you can see, there's a Barnes & Noble half off sticker on this book. That's how they get me. I find a book and then end up having to buy another one. So I saw this one and went ahead and picked it up. I have heard different things about this series. From what I understand, someone overhears a conversation and thinks that she's a contract killer. That's what I vaguely know, but I could be completely wrong. But this one just seemed like a bit of fun, and I do like the cover as well. Again, a pretty simple cover, or pretty simple end on it. I also have this one, The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. I have been expanding my reading into doing more sci-fi, more fantasy, and this is one I've been curious about, so I thought, why not pick it up? And I don't know when I will actually end up reading it, but I am very interested in picking this one up. And then the last one I have is because one of my friends at work had read this and said that it was really good. I also just finished a book by this author, which is Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson. I read Now Is Not the Time to Panic for the TBR Tackle last month. And then I saw this one at Half Price Books and thought, I'll just go ahead and pick it up since I did enjoy the other one. I didn't love the other one, but my friend at work said that this one was really, really good. So we'll see how I do. But that is my end of my book haul. Do I want to try and do a stack? I don't know. This is going to be heavy. Okay, so we have The Adventures and Misadventures of Mac Mackerel. I'm not sure if that's how you say that. The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. Finley Donovan is killing it. Ooh. Peter Carey's Oscar and Lucinda. Oh boy. Waiting for the Barbarians. Blind Owl. A Short History of Tractors in Ukrainian. I don't remember what this one is. The Return of the Soldier. Moll Flanders. The Mayor of Casterbridge. Ooh. Billy Budd. The House in the Uplands. Why is this one over here? I don't know, because it's too big. Nothing to see here. Oh, wow. That's a good stack, and that doesn't include my library books. Woohoo! Have you read any of these? Which ones do you think I should start with? Really curious. I don't know how to hold this with one hand, so I'm going to put it down before it falls down. And I think it was a very successful trip to Half Price Books for my birthday. It's my favorite birthday present. Just let me go shop for some books. Drives my husband crazy because I can spend hours wandering the aisles of a Half Price bookstore trying to find that rare find that I haven't seen before. So I know it's the best way to spend my birthday, though. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, everyone, thanks. Bye.